was the first day back on the job for Embattled Minister for the Illawarra Greg Pearce following a month of stress leave. He visited Port Kembla to announce another community panel to decide the fate of the $100 million generated by the port lease. He says he is fit and energised after time off.
The minister had a skip in his step at his first press conference since returning to work, addressing reports the $100 million from the port lease could be delivered in a few months, despite only $20 allocated in the budget.
I'm hoping that the whole $100 million will be allocated straight away in September.
The minister found himself in the spotlight several times this year, including accusations of being drunk in Parliament and an inquiry to determine if he breached travel guidelines during a trip to Canberra.
Those issues have been dealt with. Are there any other questions from the local media?
For the first time, he addressed inequalities between the leases of Port Kembla and the Port of Newcastle, the latter receiving $340 million.
I'm not going to pat myself on the back, but I reckon $100 million wasn't bad advocacy.
Also admitting the $170 million for the Berry bypass, which the government has promoted as funding generated by the port, was in fact in last year's budget.
What we want is to see the $240 million extra that was given to Newcastle. Now, that's what we want, that's what we deserve, and until we get it, we won't stop talking about it.
Labor's plan in the Illawarra is to vote against something in Parliament and then demand things back in their electorate.
Despite criticism, the minister says he's pushing ahead with the port process, appointing former president of Illawarra Coal, Colin Bloomfield, former vice-chancellor of UOW, Gerard Sutton, and past Wollongong Mayor Alex Darling to the panel, along with representatives from 14 groups, including South Coast Labor Council.
It is unfortunate, of course, that the view about privatisation wasn't heeded. But that being the case, we will take the opportunity to advise the government of the trade union movement's view and our members' view about these things and how important we see infrastructure funding for our region.
This is the third panel involved in shortlisting projects for the Illawarra Infrastructure Fund, but ultimately the New South Wales Cabinet will make the final decision. 5 public forums will be held with the shortlist announced by September. Residents can comment on the government's Have Your Say website. Melissa Jaros, We News.